the recording is being started. Then I will. Yeah. So here we go. Now what we have. Let me present again my screen. This is what we have. This is my VS Code window. Till now we have developed some web pages and simple web pages, complex web pages, different kind of things we have developed. We have developed a full like application where we have seen how to get the data, how to add event listeners, how to customize the DOM manipulation, all the things we have seen. Now JavaScript itself is a very vast, very huge topic to cover. You know that JavaScript is like itself, it will take more than 1 month to 2 months to complete each and every aspect of JavaScript. There are concepts like AJAX, there are concepts like JSON, there are concepts, different concepts are there. So only JavaScript will take a huge amount of time. We are not going into the complex functionalities, complex features. Rather, I have introduced you the JavaScript in the most fundamental way, and almost I have tried to cover all the things that are required from for DOM manipulation. The document object model. DOM stands for document object model. I have shown you. Now our task is to study the HTTP module of our Node.js, because we are going to study the Node.js. Now in Node.js, what is Node.js? This is the first thing that you should have to understand. Now Node.js is a library, we can say, is a library or backend module for our for web development, server side module. So I will go here. I will just search Node.js. I will just search Node.js. I will open the link. Open the first link, and here you can see this one is the Node.js. This one is the link for our Node.js. Now here, go ahead and download the LTS version. This is the latest stable version generally, and current, you can also download the current version, but the stable long-term support. This is basically for long-term support. I will suggest you to download this LTS version. So click here and it will be downloaded. And once it is downloaded, you can open your terminal. This is my terminal. You can just open your terminal. You can go to the Windows option, and there you can search for CMD, and you can open the command prompt. Just open the command prompt, and there just write in or node dash version, node double dash version, and hit enter. You can see the version 16.17.0. So here also you can see 16.17.0, which is I'm up to date. I'm up to date with the latest stable version, like the version which provides long-term support. So I'm up to date. And go ahead, and I will request you all to download this node. Once you have downloaded this node, there are a few things that I want to say. Suppose you want to install any module. Whenever you want to install any module, so we have to write something. Suppose we want to install any particular module, I will be writing npm install, then the module name, whatever is the module name. So there are different module names, and we're gonna study some modules. Some modules are predefined in our node. So whenever you want to install any module, you should write this npm install and then the module name, whatever is the module name, and the module will be installed in your machine. There is another thing called npm init. So this is whenever you are going to create a project, you should use this npm init. This initializes your JavaScript application to a to a project. So when I will be showing you the actual project, we are going to develop the actual project. There we will see that how this npm init, how this node, all these things works. We are going to see that. Okay, so you just need to check whether node is properly installed in your system or not. Once node is installed, you can now close the terminal and you can go to your VS Code. There I have this node folder, and there I will create a simple file, script.js. I'm just going to create this script.js file, and here I will be writing all the things. So this Node.js, this helps us to write all the JavaScript, like apart from the browser, we can execute everything in this VS Code only, or not only in VS Code, but in our own machine only. What I will do, I will at first write console.log, and there I will write. Now, why do we use this console.log? This console.log is very similar to printf in C programming language, or cout in C++ language, or system.out.println in Java, or print, simply print in Python programming language. So we generally use this console.log to print that thing. This is just the thing. And now I will go here, and you can see this is I have to go to this particular directory only. I will kill this terminal and I will open this node with the integrated terminal. Right click here and open this. So it is opened in the integrated terminal. Now what I will do? Now I'm just going to write node space script.js, and when I will hit enter, you can see this hello world message. Generally, node is basically here. What we can do everything in the browser, but I can do all the things here as well. Now there are a few things to declare a variable. I will show you all the things how can you declare variables. Generally what we can do, we can declare a variable using the var keyword. So var a is equals to 5. I can create this variable with var keyword. I will rather comment this part. So I have commented this. You know the meaning of comment. We use comment to actually uh, like when we want to stop the execution or we want to describe something, there we use comments. So here I want to stop the execution, that's why I have used this comment, and I have declared a variable a is equals to 5. I want to print the variable. I will write console, just dot log, and I will write only a without this double string or inverted comma. I will not give the inverted comma. I will just write the variable name, and I will execute this code. How I should execute? Node, then file name dot js, whatever is the file name, and I will hit enter. You can see 5 is getting printed, whatever is the value. Now if I want to update the value, I want to update a is equals to 10. I want to update the value. There I will update the value. Now you can see the update is 10. Now I want to again declare this variable var a is equals to 15. Then I will execute this code, and you can see 15 is the output. So what I'm doing here, this part is declaration and initialization. I have declared and initialized the variable a. Okay, so a is our variable. A is the integer type variable, and I have declared this variable as well as initialized this variable a with the value 5. Now you may have noticed already that I have not specified the data type of this variable. Have I specified? Definitely not. So if I just write var a is equals to Pradipto, which is my name. I am just writing my name here, and I will execute this code. So you can see the value is Pradipto right now. So this is the magic. Like, we don't have to specify the data type. There is no need to specify the data type, and automatically the data type will be collected. And this feature is called dynamically typed language. So JavaScript, and this is nothing about Node.js. This is all we are learning JavaScript. I'm just showing you everything that with the help of Node we can execute it right here. Otherwise, where I can execute JavaScript code, I can open my browser and I can right click here. I can open this inspect option, and in this inspect option I can go and I can open this console, and there I can write everything. So you can see I am writing var a is equals to 5. Okay, then I will write console dot log. I will write a. I will hit enter. You can see 5. So this is just I can write everything in this console part. Rather, if I want to execute JavaScript outside the web browser, then I have something called this node. So using node.js, which is a library, which is a open source server environment, which is open source server environment for our JavaScript. All right, so let me write it here. Node is an open source server. So I guess this theme is not well suited. Let me change the theme. Let me just change the color theme. This one here, you can see all the comments properly. So open source Java server environment, and what we can see, this actually enables us to run JavaScript outside the browser. So environment which enables us to outside the browser. Yes, Noor, you want to say something, or someone wants to say something? Guys, do you want to say something? Someone unmuted themselves. If you have any queries, you can ask me, guys. All right. So this is about JavaScript. Now here you can see JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. I'm talking about JavaScript only. So Node is a library of Node is a library of JavaScript. So Node is a library of JavaScript. Now the point I just discussed, I'm going to write it here as well. So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. So what does this dynamically typed language means? The variables in the type of the data type of the variables will be chosen automatically in the runtime. So the data type will be we can say the data type of the variables will be chosen in the runtime itself. This is what a dynamically typed language means. So this is what we have now. Here you have seen. Now here what we are learning, how to declare variables. There are generally three ways to declare variables in JavaScript. First one is using var keyword. Second one is using let keyword. So let is also there, and third one is using const. So these three keywords are available to declare and initialize variables. Here we have seen that how to declare a variable using var keyword. All right. Now we are going to see how to declare a variable using let keyword. So I will just write let. B is a new variable, and I will not specify the type because JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. I'm not going to specify the type. What I will do, I will assign a value. Let's say I'm assigning the value 10. Okay. I will print the value variable. So I'm going to print this B. So when I will now execute this code, you can see I'm going to execute this code, and you can see this value is 10. So 10 is getting printed, or rather I will print 100 or 1000 so that you can easily understand the difference. So the first value is Pradipto, which is a string because this is the last updated value, and for B 1000 is the last updated value. So you can clearly see that B is getting printed. Now if I want to update the B, update B, I'm going to update it to 1111. I'm going to update it to this value. Now I will again execute this code. You can see execute this code, and you can see the value 1111. Now the question arrives, if I just write, so what is the difference? Why there are different syntax? So if I write let B is equals to, When I will write in this way and I will try to execute this code, I will here try to execute this code. You can see we got the error. What is the error? Identifier B already declared. So we cannot declare it once again. So when we are using this let keyword to declare a variable, we cannot declare the same variable twice when we are using this let keyword. You got it? What I'm saying? When we are using the let keyword to declare a variable, we cannot declare the variable twice. Whereas in case of A, or I have used the var keyword to declare the variable, I can declare the variables n number of times. But here I cannot declare the variable. I can change the value, but I cannot declare the variable once again. But here I can declare also once again. I can change the value as well as I can declare the variable also. It will not throw any error. But in case of this particular case, it will throw some errors. And let is more suitable for modern browser. Let me quickly write the points. Point number one, the main difference is let uh, use when we will use let keyword, declare the variable twice. Okay, this is a point. We cannot declare the variable twice. Second point related to let is this is more suitable in modern browsers. Suitable for more suitable for modern browsers. This is what also we are talking about. Now these 2 points are there. If I just comment this line, so everything will work properly. I can also update the value to any other data type also. Let's say I'm writing JavaScript. So this will work properly. If I execute it, you can see Pradipto, JavaScript, everything is working properly. I just cannot declare the variable. We can update the variable, we can change the variable. This is the second point. Alright, the third point is if we use const keyword to declare the variable. Now what will happen? Let us try to use this third point. So now we are going to use this const keyword here also. This is the end of this para. Now here we are going to declare the third point, that using const keyword. I will use const any variable. Let's say a const c. Okay, and I'm assigning the value 500. I'm assigning the value 500. I will print it console.log c. Now if I execute this code, you can clearly see this Pradipto is for the var keyword, this JavaScript is for the let keyword, this 500 is for the const keyword, right? So now when I will try to change the value, c is equals to, let's say, 1000 or 5555. This is what I'm going to give the value, and I will try to execute this code. When I'm going to execute this code, you can clearly see assignment to constant variable, this error we got. So here we can define the variable, define the value, but we cannot change the value. This is just like the constant. This is just like a constant. So we cannot change the values. Once we declare a constant variable, we cannot change the value. So once we declare a constant variable, we can't change the value. This is a point. And when I will try to actually declare this variable once again, rather than I will comment this part and I will try to declare it once again. Const c is equals to, let's say, 1000. I'm trying to declare it. You can clearly see this underline. So, and it is telling us cannot redeclare in block scope. So in this scope or in this particular file, in this indented block, we cannot use this variable. We cannot declare this variable twice. If I execute it, it will again give me the same error that I was getting in like in the previous example for B. The same error I will be getting. Here also I am getting the same kind of error. This is exactly what we are trying to say. Now just I will just comment this out. I will just comment this one also. So now let me execute it once again, and you can see the value is this one. I can declare a variable. I can change the value here from 500 to I'm changing it to 5000, and let me re-execute it, and you can see the 5000 value, but I cannot update the value in the code. And this const variable, we are going to use this const variable in most of the React or Node.js applications. So in our most React.js or Node.js application, we are going to use this const variable. We are going to use this const variables. This is what we are going to do. All right, guys. So this is how we can generally declare variables in JavaScript, and especially we are not now writing JavaScript for web development or not, but we are writing JavaScript for web development, but not for the front end development. We are rather dealing with logic, variables, and how to change the values of the variables. Everything we are doing inside the script file. So is it clear, guys? Let me know in the chat section if it is clear. I want the response from all of you guys. Please let me know. If you all are listening, please let me know. Okay, so I'm receiving response from only 4 people. What about others? Okay, 5. All right. What about others? There are a lot of students. Sabul, are you there in the call? Sabul Hussain Laskar, are you there in the call? Please reply if you are there in the call. Okay, Sabul. So is it clear? Actually, I can see you have raised your hand. So if you have any query, you can ask me. And I cannot like delete it. I cannot. Okay, okay, guys. Very good. All right, guys. Very good. Very good. I'm proud of you all. So now, what you guys are really amazing. Like, if you are truly able to understand all the things, whatever I'm discussing, these are very complex topics. But I'm also trying to discuss in a simpler way so that you all can understand. And this is all whatever I'm discussing is my experience. Like I also think if I was introduced all these things in this way, I may have learned very quickly. So that's why I'm trying to gather all the things that are available, and I'm trying to deliver it in the most easiest way, so that you can learn what you should learn, not the amazing, not the like what we can see. We are not going to reduce the amazingness or beautifulness of this property, and we are not going to learn all the garbage things. So we will learn only whatever is required to learn, and not all the like garbage things, because ultimately this internship, this project, this training is all about like result oriented. It is not like that. So that's what we are trying to do. Okay guys, so now let me quickly discuss about JavaScript objects. Another very fundamental logic building and concept building part is JavaScript objects. So I would like to create another script here. I'm going to create another script, and also let me remind you something. We are learning JavaScript till now. JavaScript is a very huge topic, very vast topic, but still we are learning JavaScript. Now why I'm discussing this JavaScript objects, JavaScript variables right here, because this is the place where I need JavaScripts properly to declare the server side application. If I directly jump into Node.js applications, you will not be able to understand. So that's why I'm discussing all the things. Okay. So let us create another script here. Script.js. This is what I have created. Now here I'm going to write, let me write it. This is JavaScript objects. Now, what is exactly objects? So in real life also, this is just like objects. Like when we have an object, let's consider the example for a student or human. They are objects, or a car or a bike. All these things are objects. So if I consider a student as an object, so there are different properties. So let's say student, a student will have their unique name, the student will have their roll number, the student will have their section, in which section they are, subject, all the things will be there. For a bike, there will be the model number, there will be the uh, color, there will be different other properties. For a human also, they will have their name, they will have their age, they will have their skin color, they will have their hair type, eye color, different things will be there, different properties are there. These are called like some properties and their values. So it will have different values, it will have different properties. This is what we are going to talk about. So we have JavaScript. So how to declare an object in JavaScript? Very simple, just like variables. And I would choose const, or I can also choose var also. Everything is fine, whatever you want to do. So I will prefer let for now, this one. Let students, a student is a single student, there I'm going to create the student object. Okay, and using this curly braces I can create a student object. And just this is a gentle reminder that we should terminate all the JavaScript line with a semicolon. This is a gentle reminder to you all guys. Now how I should do that, how I should create this object. Each and every student, they will have their name, they will have their name, right? They and the name is, let's say, I'm just writing the name as, writing the my name. I'm writing my name only. This is my name. I'm giving this comma. Then after that I will have my roll number. I will have my roll number, and the roll number is, let's say, 1 is my roll number. I will give a comma. I will have the subject. I will have my subject, and I will give the subject as, let's say, the subject is JavaScript, right? And I'm giving another property, let's say class, and the class is, let's say, I'm giving it first year or second year, or you guys are in second year or third year, I guess. So just for the simplicity purpose, class is college. You can give your own class also, that is also fine. And for the last one, there is no need to specify any comma or nothing like that. Just this is the syntax. Now I have created this student. Now let me print this student. So I will write console.log. I can directly write console.log student, and there I will just execute this code. When I will execute this code, okay, this is script 2 actually. So you can see this is getting printed. This particular thing is getting printed. Now I can access the property. I have successfully created. When you are getting all these values, that means your values are successfully created. So also you may notice that this single quote, double quote, these things doesn't matter. We can easily get that things. Now I'm trying to access the properties. So Properties of JavaScript objects. JavaScript objects. How I can access them? The syntax is very similar. You just have to write the object name, then a dot, then the property name. Or there is another syntax, object name, then inside the square brackets and inside the square brackets and inside this single quote or double quote, rather I generally prefer double quote. Inside this double quote you can write property. Just the syntax, and very simple syntax it is, I guess. Now how I will do that, I will just create another line, and in this particular field I'm just going to write all the properties. So a very simple thing is there. I will just, what is the name of the object? So name of the object is student. So I'm creating, let's say I'm creating this particular thing. So console dot log, and there I'm writing student. This is the name of the object. You can see this is the name of the object, and any property I want, let's say I want this name. So I'm copying this from here, or you can also write it here. I'm just trying to print this name. And this is the first way. The second way is also just similar to this one. Rather than specifying this dot, I'm specifying the square brackets. Inside square brackets I'm specifying double inverted comma. Inside double inverted comma I need to specify the property name. So let's say I want to print the subject, so I'm specifying subject. Now I will go here, I will re-execute it, and you can see this one is for the entire object. Now you can see it clearly that Pradipto Chatterjee, this one is the name, and JavaScript, this one is the value. So I got both the things, Pradipto Chatterjee and JavaScript, both the things are here. In this way we can actually create the values. All right, now the question arises, can we change values as well? So can we actually change the values, or can we do different other things or any other things? Definitely we can change, we can try to change the value. So let's try to change the value. Before that, so here I am commenting this part, and I'm writing student dot name, or let's say student name, in this way, name equals to from Pradipto Chatterjee, or not name actually, let's do it for subject. I'm writing subject from JavaScript to, I'm writing web development. This is I have changed, and also don't forget to terminate it with a semicolon. Although in modern syntax, like they have reduced the semicolons and all the things, but I will request you all to follow the proper things. Okay, I'm giving the syntax. I'm giving the syntax here, and now we are going to execute it. Now we are going to actually execute it. So let's see, when I will now print the subject, what will be the subject. Here you can see this is updated. Initially it was JavaScript, but when I'm trying to print it, this value has been updated. And also if I print the student right now, if I just print the student right now here, so if I execute it, you can see now it is also changed. We will be getting two different things. This one is for the first one when before changing the value, and this one is after changing the value, and the value has been changed. So we can definitely change the value. And what will happen if I just use const keyword rather than using this let keyword? If I use const keyword here and I will execute it, so when I'm using this const keyword, can you notice it, guys? I'm using the const keyword, and I am just trying to access the values. Still, I'm able to change the values. So this is just a very interesting thing, that this is just for variables. But when I'm using objects and there I'm using this const keyword, I can still change the properties. I cannot change the student item entirely, but I can access the properties and I can change the properties. And it is always preferable to use this const keyword almost everywhere, because in your node application you will require it a lot. So start practicing from right now. Okay, this is also another thing that I wanted to mention. Please make sure that guys that whatever I discussed, it is clear to you all. So please let me know in the chat section whether whatever I discussed, is it clear to you all or not. Just let me know once very quickly. Yes, sure, you can print the output. This is like in this way. You can print the output in this way, just in this way. Just like console.log and specify whatever you want to write. Here also you can see console.log and whatever you want to write. And do not worry, guys. I will share these files with you So do you want me to share these files as well with you all? So the chat section, I'm sharing the files, guys. Just a minute. So I have shared the first file. This one is the first file. Okay. This one is the first file, and I'm sharing the second file as well. This one is the second file. So I have shared both the files in the chat section itself. You can get it even after the call gets end. So no worries, if all the things will be right here only. Everything will be here, guys. No need to worry about anything. So now after that, what we have? So after this particular part, we have something called loop. So loop in just like any other programming language, JavaScript is also a very interesting programming language. There also we have this concept of loops. So we are going to study the loops. Let's go here and let me create another separate script file, script3.js. I'm going to create this separate script file. All right, so I have created the separate script file. There I'm going to create what? Loops. So this is loops JavaScript. This is what I'm going to do. Now, if you are going to study loops in JavaScript, just like any other language, we have loops here as well. And how do we declare loops? Very easy and very simple syntax. Suppose you have for loop, for you can use var, you can use let, you can use const. I will prefer let I is equals to 0, I plus plus I, oh sorry, I less than 10, I plus plus. This is how we declare a for loop in our C language. Just here we use int and here I am using let. This is just how we use the like create the for loop, right guys? So this is what I have done. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create I'm just going to create another variable. Let's say I have the variable here. I have the variable var a is equals to a blank string. Okay, and here I'm going to do, or no, let's forget about this var. I'm just going to do here var a is equals to var a is equals to double quote, I'm writing I is equals to, then I'm writing plus, then I'm writing I. Okay, and after that I'm going to write console.log a. Okay, this is what I'm writing. So let's execute this one and you can see the output. I'm clearing the terminal. And I'm going to execute this script 3. So you can see, you can clearly see it. I is equals to 0. This I is equals to, this is basically the part of whatever I have written inside this double inverted comma. This is what I have written inside this double inverted comma. And this I is the variable. So whatever I will write inside the double inverted comma, that is our string. That is our string, and that will be printed exactly how I have written. And this part without the inverted comma, what I'm writing, that is our variable. We can change the values. This is not only true for this programming language, but this is true for all the other programming languages. This is how generally we do. And this console.log, this particular thing is very useful whenever you are going to study server side Node.js application development, especially since we are learning that. For front end perspective, generally we emphasize a less in this console.log for loop, this kind of thing. Yes, that is a very like huge amount of we can actually learn about this for loop, this everything, but generally we don't need to learn because these are very normal thing, but still here we are learning because this will be very useful for us. So this is what I have done. This is just how we can create a for loop, and I will show you the for loop as well, like along with we can say like how we can create list or arrays also. You know about arrays as well. Here I'm showing both the things, arrays in JavaScript. You know how to create an array in normal C programming language or C++ or Java or in Python, or you if you know any of the programming language, so definitely you know about arrays. Arrays is a very interesting part. So I'm just going to create this array. I'm just going to create a very simple array. Const, let's say my array, and here I have multiple students, and don't forget to terminate the line with a semicolon. I have the first student as Rahul, the second student as Raj, the third student is Nitish, the fourth student is, let's say, Satvik, student is, let's say, we have uh, we have another student Rishabh. We have this we have few students. Now I want to iterate through all the students. I can easily write console, I can easily write log, and there I can write student, and inside students actually this is the name of the object, and inside here I can specify the index. I'm specifying 0. So when I will, and I'm just omitting this part, I'm omitting this for loop. Why I am omitting this for loop? Because I don't want this to be printed on the terminal for now, because I want only this one will be our output. So I'm executing this one, and you can see Rahul, because this is the 0th index. This is the element with 0th index, and here I'm writing the index numbers. So this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 3, and this one is 4. So when I will write index number, I will specify any specific index number. I am specifying this one. you can see I'm specifying this one. You can say Nitish is getting printed because this one is at index number 2. So is there a way we can actually iterate through all the items present inside this list and I can print everything? Yes, definitely we can do that. How we can do that? I can use a for loop. So I can use for I is equal, or in this way, for let I equals to 0, I less than students dot length. This dot length will return the length of the of this list or of this array, and there I'm just going to print console dot log and student dot I. This is just what I'm going to print. Rather than printing all the items individually, I'm going to print all the items in this way. And now when I will execute it, you can see I'm getting the output, I'm getting all the elements. Even if you increase this array, if you add some more elements, still you will be getting the same like values, like all the values that you are adding, you will be getting all the values, because I have not specified any constant range, rather I have used the dynamic range. This length function will generate the length of this array, and it will return the length of this array. That's what we are doing here. So guys, this is how we can actually implement loop. Apart from this for loop, there are multiple loops, like we have for in loop, for different loops are there in JavaScript. So we have we can say for in, we have while loop. So different kinds of loops are there, but generally in most of the times we will be needing this for loop. Another thing that we will need is if else or conditionals, and this is the last thing that we are going to cover today, the conditionals. I'm writing it here, conditionals in JavaScript. We are going to study conditionals. So conditionals, as the name suggests, it is just for conditions, that if this is present, then I will do that. If this is happening, then I will do that. So this kind of conditions, if today is raining, I will not go to college. If today is not raining, I will go to college. This kind of things generally are a part of conditional. So basically we can sum up that if else, these are the part of conditionals in JavaScript. This is what we are going to learn. Now how I can check that? Suppose I have a variable var, let's say var x is equals to 10. Okay, I'm terminating the line with the semicolon, and here also I'm commenting this part, because I don't want this to be executed. So I have written this x is equals to 10, and then I'm going to write if x is less than 20. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to console.log. I'm just going to write x is less than 20, and else I will write console.log x is greater than 20. Just a simple, like, this is just for discussing the syntax. Okay, this is what I have written. Now I'm going to write this, I'm going to execute the script tree. You can see x is less than 20, and also you can write the value of x also in the previous way. Try to do it. Also, let's change the value of x this time. Let's try to change the value and then try to execute it, and you can clearly see the output is x is greater than 20. You can clearly see the output x is greater than 20, because this time the value is 100. So these are the logical part of JavaScript. Earlier we had seen the foundation part, like the basic front end part, that how we can generate, how we can fetch an element, how we can get the element, how we can change the color, how we can do all these things. Now we are more into this logical part, and I'm sharing this code also with you all. I have copied this entire code and I'm sharing it in the chat section, and you can get the entire code in the chat section. This is what we are doing. So guys, this is what we have done in today's class. So regarding today's class, if you have any confusion, if you have any queries, you can ask me, guys. All right. Nice. Very good, guys. I'm proud of you all. So please practice all the questions. I'm then stopping the recording.